And, in my career, many years prior to being in politics, I had the opportunity to serve, as many of you know. But in the end, it's the same responsibility. It's the same mission. It's just a different battlefront. We protect and preserve what we care about. When I went abroad, whether it was in Afghanistan, Iraq, South America, Europe, it didn't matter. We protected our way of life and our people here at home. In getting to serve as Florida's 21st Lieutenant Governor, there are 23.5 million people that I'm responsible for, and not a moment goes by where that is not upmost and foremost in my mind. Functions like what we're talking about today are critical. To be the kind of person who says what we mean, who means what we say, but follows up with actions, it's important. I'm joined here today with some friends and people who we've worked with throughout my time in politics. We have our own Secretary of Elder Affairs, Michelle Branham, absolutely incredible. So Michelle is the one who really came up with the framework for what we do here. She put this together. Her passion and dedication to taking care of those who are in our 65 and up demographic group is critical. Our seniors, our parents, our grandparents. We have to protect those who are vulnerable. And she absolutely has a passion to take care of those around her. We are so blessed to have her with us. We have our dear friend, Sheriff Rob Hardwick. Rob, he's also a combat veteran, and we have bonded and shared stories of times of Rob. But if you don't know him and what he does in St. John's, man, we are so lucky to have you as a leader here in our sheriff's office, in our communities across this state. He has an outsized approach and need to serve people, to take care of people. And we are very, very lucky. We have, thank you. We have Detective Bobby Foltz. Very interesting story. He grew up in the sheriff's department, went to the Secret Service, and focused towards the tail end of his career on financial crimes. Came back to the sheriff's office and has a passion for taking care of those 65 and up who are being taken advantage of. It's critical to have people who have a passion and an expertise honed over years, decades, as part of our team. And we're so lucky to have you here, Bobby. Thank you for being here. We have Sally Sagerston. And Sally, how are you? She's incredibly bright. And she's going to share a little bit about her experiences in this. And I want to highlight her because it's important. There's no shame in talking about what happened. There's nothing wrong with this. There isn't. When people take advantage of you, we have to share that information. We have to learn to protect others. And I'm incredibly proud of your courage to come out here and share your story, to talk about it, because you're going to help protect other people simply by using your voice. Thank you for doing that. Today is an important step forward in protecting our Florida seniors. We're launching Operation Senior Shield, and I want to be absolutely clear. It's not just a program. It's a continuation of a mission, protecting those things we love. When Secretary Branham first briefed me on the sheer number of seniors losing thousands and thousands of dollars, sometimes their entire life savings, it hit me hard. It did. Those aren't just numbers. Those are people. That could be my family, my neighbor's family. In the military, we're taught to not just sit back when you see people being targeted. You move toward the problem. You take action. And that's exactly why we're launching this. The SHIELD method and model is important because I want people to know that just as I did when I was in the military, when I stepped between people who had ill will for our nation and our American people, that's what we're doing in the state of Florida. We are going to protect our people. We will stand between you and them and protect you. That is our goal, that is our mission, and that is what we should be doing. Our seniors built our state. They deserve protection respect, peace of mind. We're committed to doing that. Operation Senior Shield provides timely text and email alerts so no older adults and caregivers are left without information. They can stay ahead of the scammers. When a new threat emerges or appears, Floridians will know what it is before it hits, before the scammers get to their door, their inbox, or their phone. That's how we have to stay alert, stay informed, and stay secure. And in that, you heard it's not just about the seniors. It's about the people around them. It's about being a hard target, not a soft target. People are going to come after this. We have to give you tools to protect you, your loved ones, and yourself. Signing up is simple. It takes less than a minute. Just visit opseniorshieldfl.com. Again, that is opseniorshieldfl.com to start receiving alerts today. Now, I encourage everyone, seniors, caregivers, family members, to stay enrolled, stay informed, but that's just the beginning. You know, we did a press conference 2 days ago. It's all kind of Groundhog Day right here. We do a lot of these things, right? And since that time, we've had over 1,000 people sign up. People are excited because it provides hope. It does. It lets you know that somebody cares, somebody is willing to step into that breach to protect you, and we hear your worries, we hear your concerns, and we're going to do something about it. Today, we're creating a statewide task force dedicated to fighting fraud against Floridians. This group will bring together law enforcement, cybersecurity experts, community partners, and state leaders to share intelligence, raise awareness, and take this issue head on with whatever urgency it demands. We're approaching this the same way we would any coordinated threat: strategy, teamwork, and relentless focus. We're adding something innovative, something I'm incredibly excited about. We're giving seniors the tools to fight back, backed by a statewide strike team that works around the clock to stop criminals before they strike. This team will be comprised of myself, Secretary Branham, law enforcement, and leading cybersecurity experts and ethical white side hackers. We're going to teach you how they work. We're going to help you soft knock digitally on their door, and we're going to do all we can to find accountability for those who do this. With guidance from ethical hackers, cybersecurity experts, seniors will walk through those exact methods. They'll learn how these schemes work from the inside, see the red flags firsthand, and practice those techniques. It's important to understand what they're doing so you can tell your friends, so you can understand. It's not just education, it's empowerment. This gives seniors confidence. It gives them control. It gives them the ability to recognize a scam instantly and shut it down before it ever starts. You know, I've spoken to many seniors who have gone through this, including some just a couple of days ago, and it was shocking, and it breaks my heart that they felt ashamed, they felt taken advantage of, and they felt like if they didn't do this and go along with it, what if somebody found out? What would happen? Guys, that has to stop. We're going to stand up for you. We will stand alongside you. Never feel discouraged, alone, or afraid if these people do it to you. We have to work together. I want to thank Secretary Branham for her leadership, her fierce dedication. She's listened to story after story after story every single day. She has pushed tirelessly for strong, practical solutions to protect our seniors. Her work is the exact reason we're able to launch this today. She is the guiding force behind this. I am grateful to call her a friend, and I'm grateful to have her leadership. And each of you should know that you have a friend in Michelle. You do. She is here to protect you. I want to thank our governor, Ron DeSantis, for his steadfast support in making this initiative possible. There are many governors who talk. There are very, very, very few who get things done. We are incredibly blessed to have a bold leader willing to step in, step up, and get things done to protect our people. That is what we need. That is what we expect. And now, we just need more of you to join us. Help us help you. Again, that sign up is opseniorshieldfl.com. Share it with your family, your neighbors, your church groups. The more people who are informed, the fewer opportunities these scammers are going to have. Together, we're going to protect our seniors. We will strengthen our defense. We'll build a state where scammers think twice, because we will help find them accountable prior to them trying to prey on any of you. Thank you for being here. God bless our seniors. God bless the great state of Florida. And God bless these United States. Now it is my privilege to get to bring up my friend, Secretary Branham, who I've waxed philosophically about quite a bit. So with that, Michelle, would you please come up?
You can see why I picked the perfect champion. I'm so grateful to the Lieutenant Governor. When I brought this to his attention, he was on the edge of his listening, and it means the absolute world to me. It's a dream come true to talk to you all today, because I've been contemplating this for 4 years. When I became secretary 4 years ago, my mother had a laundry list of things that she wanted me to accomplish. One of them became this, because it was happening so prevalently. It happened in my own family more than once, and I get call after call after call. So it's exciting to be here today, having the Lieutenant Governor not just talking about it, but championing this effort that we're going to take statewide. The mobilization of this strike force is also, or the strike team is going to be also very important, because it's not just about educating and empowering. When the Lieutenant Governor talked about the registry, which we have, which he told you about, opseniorshieldfl.com. I went home, signed up every one of my family members, signed up everybody in our agency, and I'm asking you to sign up now, because it's going to give you text alerts that are going to help us stay one step ahead of the scammers. So if there's a prevalent scam, you're going to hear about it first, and it's not going to be a clickable link or anything confusing. And I think the more of us that sit around the dinner table together as families, having these conversations, what I've learned from listening to the stories in the grocery lines or the senior centers is that sometimes we get on our parents, we get on our loved ones, we get upset with them because we're so frustrated about them losing hard-earned savings, and we're scared for them. I don't want it to be getting on them. I want us to have this conversation together, because these predators, they are predators, and they're sophisticated and they're relentless. And you're going to hear more about that. So it's going to take a strike team that the Lieutenant Governor has assembled that's going to help us go after those predators. I've heard a lot. It's hard. They're across seas. We don't know. They act like ghosts. That's not a reason not to go after them, and we will. He's assembled an incredible strike team that has the kind of expertise for cybersecurity that will help us prosecute them and track them down. So it's about education and empowerment, which I think is important, because none of us, as the Lieutenant Governor mentioned, should feel ashamed or duped or embarrassed about what happened. These predators are sophisticated, like I said. I've had family members in their 30s and their 40s and their 20s calling me that are getting scammed as well. So it's not just seniors. We're going to start here, but we're going to continue this mission. So I just, again, want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank the Lieutenant Governor for his tireless efforts. Like I said, you know why we picked the champion that we did to do this, because he is tireless, he's relentless, he is the perfect safeguard for our seniors. I'm so incredibly grateful to him and for the support that we get from Governor DeSantis that we've received all 4 years for our seniors as well. So thank you to the law enforcement here today. Thank you to Sheriff Hardwick and all of the hardworking people that are going to be here looking after us to help prosecute them. In the meantime, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? We're going to sign up, right? We're going to get our text alerts. We're going to get educated. And I'm going to ask you to consider volunteering so that we go back into our senior centers, back into our faith-based communities, back into our communities around the dinner tables and have these important conversations. Right. And we'll do it with love, we'll do it with grace, and we'll do it with compassion. Those are the most important things, starting with the family first, because I think a lot of these seniors are afraid. My own family member was afraid to tell me, and I'm the Secretary of Elder Affairs. I knew I could help him, but he was afraid to tell me because he was embarrassed and ashamed that I would judge him. So let's make sure we're leading with grace and compassion and not judgment, and posturing our hearts towards what we can accomplish together through education, while this amazing strike team that the Lieutenant Governor has assembled is going to go after these predators. So thank you so much, sir. I'm honored and privileged to be a part of it. This is a dream come true to launch this with you all today. And I'm incredibly grateful for leadership at the highest possible levels being here with us today to protect our seniors. Thank you so much.
Secretary Branham, thank you for your passion and thank you for your leadership on this. So I get to bring up my friend, Sheriff Hardwick, here in just a moment. So I told you a little bit about him, and for those of you who know him, you know his dedication to leadership and community matters. One of the things that I really enjoy about our conversations is both of us had an opportunity to chew some dirt at a younger age and do things abroad to protect our nation. We did. You learn a special thing when you're out there in really hard times. You understand and you focus more on what truly matters. He is an incredible leader for our state. I don't know what he's going to continue to do in his life, but I can tell you we are so blessed to have him as a sheriff here, because people who have put their neck on the line continually for others and have a passion for leading should be doing things like he's doing. And I am so grateful you're here, grateful to call you a friend. Come on up and let's talk about this.
Lieutenant Governor, thank you so much. And Secretary, thank you very much. Detective Phelps, Sally, cannot wait to hear your story in front of this amazing crowd here today. Not to take away from the ceremony today, but I promised myself as a fellow veteran, if I ever had a chance, the Lieutenant Governor will actually respect this. If you're a Vietnam vet, if you're a World War II vet, Korean War vet, please stand for a minute if you can. Please stand, please. I got to just simply say this, and I promised myself when a man named Major General Bailey had a conversation in a speech with me, and he said this, Sheriff. He said, if you ever get a chance to take those Vietnam veterans and say, hey, when I returned from my combat tours, when he returned from his combat tours, this country applauded us, parades, free tickets to SeaWorld, reduced prices of food, and this country turned its back on the Vietnam veteran area. Today, you will probably get the one and only standing ovation that this country stands on today because of your fight for freedom. Thank you for your service to this great country. Lieutenant Governor, I'm here today because of you, my friend. We were sitting in my office. You and I were going to pay respects to a combat veteran pilot that was shot down October 12th, 1944 in Lamosa. And the remains had never been recovered. They were recovered eventually. They were brought to America, and they sat in a holding pen forever. Just recently, myself and Lieutenant Governor on October 12th of 2025 buried those remains of that pilot in St. Johns County, Florida. But then you asked me, you said, Sheriff, I want you to be on a strike team. And I honestly said, I don't have room for anything else. But then when he said it was about, I said, it's my position, and my staff knows this, it's my priority in life to protect the ones that established, defined, maintained, fought for, and are now living in retirement. We got to do this together. And Lieutenant Governor, you hit the nail on the head, my friend. You couldn't get this at a better time. I drove in here today from St. Augustine, Florida, physically for 2 hours on the phone, chewing out my staff on a mistake they had made, the entire drive down here. I need a little bit of peace as I pulled in this compound today, and I pulled in Legacy Point, and there was an elderly lady in a wheelchair being pushed by a staff member. She was on this grass right out here. She had stopped, and she was staring at 4 cranes that were crossing the road. I had to stop too as well. And I watched her face watching those cranes, and it all came together. I was like, God put the Lieutenant Governor and myself in a place to do this together. Sir, you were meant to be. You're the right person, the right time, the right place, with the right heart, with nothing, no hidden agenda. I love you, brother, I'm telling you. But it came to me, I'm like, wait a minute, we're going to speak on behalf of them. We get the privilege of protecting you, who fought for us, who defined the Constitution of the United States of America. And now we get a chance to protect you and educate you. We talk about that. We talk about educate, empower, register. We ask you, we were going to push this campaign, Lieutenant Governor, me, on behalf of your 67 sheriffs. Sir, we are all in. My brothers and sisters are all in to educate, empower, and register. And this is going to happen, sir. You made a comment outside here and you said, Sheriff, we're going to go national with this. Sir, you are. Because you have the ambition and the drive, and you know exactly what it takes to complete a mission on behalf of the American people. You, as you sit here today. So again, as you're going to hear next from, of course, one of my detectives, and he's actually down here to be a part of my staff, and I said, there's no better person to speak today, Lieutenant Governor, than Detective Bobby Fulton. He'll talk about that in a minute. He's 61 years old, and he physically said, there's a reason why I'm still working for you, Sheriff Hardwick. I get to come here and defend the people that can't defend themselves. The other day, I was in my office, I was watching the news, and there was a report on there of a Vietnam veteran. He physically put $56,000 into a Bitcoin machine thinking that he was doing something right. And police officers walked in there and were trying to convince him, sir, you're being scammed, you're being scammed. They physically stopped him. He was being scammed. These predators are so smooth. They become your friends. They befriend you. They make false promises. They say things like you're going to go to jail, your daughter, your granddaughter, your children are hurt. They're convincing. But to be honest, they don't discriminate. It's every race, creed, color, religion, sexual orientation, and age. And honestly, they don't care what you do. They don't care what you did for America. They don't care what you do now. They don't understand the actual freedom that they have are because of some of you. So again, as we go through this mission together, and Lieutenant Governor, I guess I'll tell you today, sir, I am all in for your strike team, my friend. And I will advocate for you bigger and better than I ever have before, because the most vulnerable people in America should be the most protected. And my mother's 85 years old. And she's a handful, God bless her. She's 85, and my staff knows this very well. She's not afraid to call and tell me that the sheriff's doing something wrong in St. Johns County. But I need to be reminded, too, as well, that I will be in her shoes one day. I will be in your shoes one day. I want to close with this. Don't you ever be embarrassed for someone that took advantage of you. And I think we've got to sit there and we've got to say enforce, right? On top of empower and engage with you and educate and register, we have to hold them accountable. And I'll close with this. Lieutenant Governor said, Sheriff, we got to hold the people overseas accountable because they are in charge of a lot of this too as well. And we are so vulnerable right now. My response to him is, we got a president of the United States that is dropping bomb on dope coming to America that are hurting and killing our American citizens, that are making money off us. There's no better time to attack the enemy overseas than right now. Lieutenant Governor, my brother. You, my fellow veteran, have just took the definition of Lieutenant Governor and put a brand new definition in Webster. And I'm so proud to work with you, my friend. Thank you for your service to this great nation. And you surround yourself with people that are better and stronger than you. Key to success. God bless America and God bless you. Thank you.
You see what I was talking about, don't you? Isn't he incredible? Great leader for our state. So, Bobby, you get to follow that. I think you're going to be great. But, you know, it's interesting when we talk about a life of service. And people who grow up in the sheriff's office go out and learn and hone and gain new skills and talents. And then bring them right back home here to protect the things he loves, the things he's passionate about. Guys, that's an incredible story in and of itself. It is. Somebody who wants to protect the things in his community, the people who are most valuable to him. He learns those talents and those skills and applies them here at home. It's a really incredible story, Bobby. I look forward to getting to know you more, and I would love to have you come up here and share some of your expertise and passion for protecting those people who are most vulnerable. Thanks for joining us.
Appreciate the invite up here today to speak. The things that it's contagious is the passion that the sheriff has. Sheriff Hardwick has a passion for helping people, and it's contagious. And I have a passion for this also, and that's why I'm still doing it. The things that they've been talking about, everything's true. But the thing we're gonna have to do to be able to slow down what we're doing, because we can't stop fraud. It's been there for years. It's always going to be there. But we can educate the public. And that's one thing that I brought to the sheriff at one point, and I asked him, I'd like to be able to do these public speaking events and talk to the public and teach them how to protect yourself and from the scams. And he said, go for it. And he let me do it. And I've been doing it a lot in St. Johns County. But this is something that needs to be done nationwide, here in Florida and nationwide. It needs to be done everywhere. We need to educate the public, and there's ways to do it through social media and everything, but public speaking is the way I do it. And I'll get with church groups. I'll get with the retirement communities such as we're in here today. And if I can fill rooms, that's what I want to do. And if I have one person to talk to, I'm going to talk to them if it's only one person, because it's a passion. And I'd rather talk to them beforehand than talk to them after they've lost everything that they've had. I just had a case the other day. And unfortunately, it's a sad case because there's nothing I can do about it at this point. The person was scammed out of $489,000. And through the scam, they were talked into buying gold and then turning over the gold to a courier. And when that's gone, it's gone because it can't trace it. And if I had nothing to go on, no tags, no identifications, nothing, no description. It's an unfortunate thing, but it happens every day all over the place. It's been eye-opening because as a Secret Service agent, I worked bigger cases. And then from there, I left and went to a financial institution and worked for about 4 years as their fraud manager. And that was eye-opening because I saw all the little fraud cases that were happening. And it was through one financial institution. But it's happening, you have all these other financial institutions, it's happening everywhere. And the financial institutions are doing the best they can too. But what we have to do too is federally, is we need to change some of the regulations that are out there to be able to help the law enforcement and the banks and the financial institutions, credit unions or whatever, work together and work faster. Because the fraudsters, bad guys, whatever you want to call them, bad actors, they have a way, and they know what we can and can't do, and they know our weaknesses, and they layer things to where it takes us time through subpoenas and through processes to get the information we need to chase down the money. Because if my goal is, if I can't get the bad guy, which I'd like to, and that's my main goal, but at least get the funds back as fast as I can for the victims. But there's so many different kind of scams out there, and I could sit here and talk for hours on it. Well, I know we don't have that much time, but it's just a matter of we have to work together and as a team, because the organized crime is very organized and they work together. So we're going to have, that's the only way we can beat them is to work faster and better together.
So Bobby, what I heard is how voice will travel. I have lots of stuff that we can work on together here. So thank you for your passion. Thank you for your leadership, and just thank you for your dedication to taking care of those in our community. It matters. So last, but certainly not least, we have Sally, Miss Sally, who's going to come up here. And again, I want to say it's incredibly courageous for you to share your story. I hope this empowers other people to do the same, Miss Sally. Please come on up.
I'm not a speaker, and I'll do my best. I will tell you my story. I was looking for a small loan of $1,500, and I went online, and I thought I found a good company that would loan me the money. And of course, I made an application out. I put my Social Security number in, my bank account, and all my information, and that was fine. The next day, I got a call, and they said, "You've been approved, and once you're approved, we'll call you with the instructions." The next day, the gentleman called me back, and he said to me, "I want you to take your bank card, and I want you to go to Walmart, and I want you to put it in a kiosk, and we'll load the money on the card." And I said, I have never, ever heard of Walmart loading loans on a kiosk, and I don't believe you. And he hung up right away. And I thought, okay, I've made a mistake. And I thought it was done. The next day, my bank calls me and says, We just received a $1,500 check from a bank in California. And the bank is real, but the routing and the account number doesn't exist. And I said, okay, please disregard it. And they did. If I had put that money, if the bank had put the money into my account, I'm liable for it through the bank, and I would have to pay them back. I was fortunate that the bank was on top of my accounts. These scammers are so smooth and so relentless that they can talk you into anything. And they will either get into your accounts and take withdrawals, they will take credit cards, they will take loans, and they will just ruin your whole life. And it may take months and years to get your information straightened out. So please, please let everybody know and be careful. I was on the internet, and I've learned not to believe everything that's on the internet. So please be careful, and I don't want anyone go through what I did. Thank you.
Well, Ms. Sally is dropping words of wisdom there at the end as well. Do not believe everything you read on the internet, right? I love that. That's a mic drop moment to walk off on. Great job. Great job. So as we close this out, guys, thank you first and foremost for being here. It's incredibly important. These type of moments matter, where we make a choice to do something important or to just sit there and run our jaws. We can make a difference doing things like this. You heard the passion, the dedication, and the focus from our men and women in law enforcement, from our Secretary of Elder Affairs, my friend Michelle. But that dedication exists throughout the state of Florida, throughout law enforcement, because we do want to do the right thing. We are here to protect you, to stand and deliver for our people. So thank you again for being here. We look forward to making a difference together. And I want to take a few questions from the press, if you have any. So appreciate the question. And just for clarity, it doesn't have to be on this single subject. You can ask what you want. So I'm not going to speak for the details on this because I don't have them in front of me. So in specific cases like this, I need the details laid out, and then we can talk specifics. But if it is something that affects our people and it's a lesson we can all learn from, I suspect there'll be involvement at least in that regard. But I don't want to voluntold someone to be a part of something they shouldn't be. Let's provide details. Happy to talk with you offline, and then we can talk in more specifics. Make sense? All right, thank you. Anybody else? All right. Put that on the record. I asked for questions. The media said no. Okay, just saying. All right, y'all. Thank you for being here. Incredibly proud of what our team has put together. Thank you, and God bless.